So I just finished watching Should I Marry a Murderer? And I have several thoughts. But the primary thought that we're going to focus on is that I'm very angry at law enforcement. And that is what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so if you have not watched it yet, I would suggest that you go and watch it because I'm going to give away the whole plot, and that's not really nice. So watch it, then come and we can have a chat. Okay, so basically, what this is about is a woman who is coming out of I believe, 7 or 8 year relationship that fails. She then meets a man. She has a very quick, quick, very fast romance with this man. And within a month, if I'm not mistaken, they are engaged to be married. And then they have this moment where they basically are sitting in a car and they say to each other, you know what, tell me all of your secrets and I will tell you all of my secrets. We need to get that out there because we're going to get married. And you know what? Like she thinks he's going to say maybe he has a baby or is in debt or whatever. And my man says, I have somebody. That's what he says. And she basically is like, what do you mean by that, sir? And he says, you know what? My brother and I were driving under the influence one night, and there was a cyclist, and he shouldn't have been there. And we him, and then we buried him on the farm that we live on, and that, you come and visit us on, and that you jog past his remains every time you go on a run. So that's a thing. Yeah, so basically that happens. And then my sister in Christ decides, you know what, like, what should I do? So for a while, she mulls over it. She's like, you know what, I love this man. And then she's like, you know what, I need to do the right thing because this man had a family, and so she decides she's going to go to the cops. And that is where, for me, like, I start to get angry. My opinion is this: when somebody comes to you and they say, hi, I am a person that is in a romantic dynamic with a person who has just revealed to me that they have committed an offense, and I am potentially one of three people, two of whom are the perpetrators of the offense that know about the crime, okay? And I'm coming to you as a witness. Please help me. Law enforcement, in my opinion, acquires a duty of care towards that witness. And when I say a duty of care, I mean that they have a duty to protect that witness while they pursue their case. And in this instance, I think that they failed in three ways. And the three ways that they failed were the following. The first thing that they did was they called those brothers in and they said, hi, we heard that there are remains of a cyclist that went missing, and those remains are on your farm. But what do you mean? Because she's literally the third person that has just now been told about that. So, what do you mean you're confronting those people with that information, especially in circumstances where you do not intend to arrest those people? Why are you confronting them at that stage? That was the first part at which they went wrong, in my opinion. The second part where I felt that they went wrong is that they failed to provide her with resources. So, what made me and what still makes my blood boil, makes me angry, is that, in the words of the prosecutor, the doctor that was basically telling her story was an intelligent woman, and that a risk assessment was made. And based on the risk assessment, she did not need the resources that would be made available because of the length of the relationship between the parties, i.e., they'd been dating only for a month. So she didn't need resources for people that are in relationships with alleged criminals. So, is it based on your intelligence and the length of the relationship? Or is it based on the fact that there's a dynamic here where a person is in a relationship with with a person that is an accused or a person that is alleged to have committed an offense, and that dynamic can lead to manipulation. For me, I feel like they did not make the correct analysis, and that led to some of the blunders and the missteps that she was making because she didn't have anyone that she could talk to. And in fact, when she asked for psychological help, she was told, "Oh no, you don't need that. You can't. That compromises our case." The third thing I felt that they failed on, and this is something that I feel that American law enforcement does really well, which is sting operations. These people were told that there is a body on a farm. Why are they not able to plant a worker on the farm? Especially in the circumstances where they know that now there's going to be building on the farm, and that's why, you know, this man that the doctor is now with is panicking. Why are they not able to plant a worker on the farm and say, you know what, this worker is the one that has now suddenly discovered the remains? For me, I feel that that is something that American law enforcement does really well, and that was something that they failed to take advantage of, and that could have given her plausible deniability, and that could have eased a lot of her anxiety in this case. So I feel that there were missteps by law enforcement, and that they really need to take an analysis of and a look at, just to see, you know, if they could avoid them in future cases. I know that there were missteps that she took. I do feel, though, if you consider the missteps by law enforcement, that they combined and they did contribute to some of her missteps. But you are more than welcome to let me know your thoughts below. And as always, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.